Hi, I'm a theater artist and you're a theater artist, and together we can make...
I'm gonna move these golf clubs, I think.
I won't stay up. Stay up. I hate you more than anything. I have to figure out the right angle. I don't know what to do. I hate my life. The question is, do I like this more? I do not. I'm putting these golf clubs back because I do not like the weird opening. Nothing has changed. My first YouTube video. How exciting for all of us involved. I guess not my first, but it's my first real video. It's my first video I don't know, man. What I've decided on is I'm going to do an array of content on this channel. Other than Play to Z content, which is the podcast that I have. Boom. Boom. I'm also going to do video essays and then chill content, where chill content is a little bit more low edit, a little bit more stream of consciousness, and video essay is a little bit higher edit. And today we're going to do video essay. Now, what did I want my first video essay to be about? That's the question on all of our minds, and you totally haven't read the title of this video. The greatest love of my life is Annie Baker. Annie Baker, playwright extraordinaire, member of the Bang Gang, just for hair. Oh, I shouldn't say that. She's the greatest playwright of all time. Of all time. Steinberg Award, Guggenheim Fellow. Oh, I hit the microphone. A MacArthur genius. She's literally a genius. She's officially a genius. She's a genius. I love Annie Baker more than anything in the world, and I just saw my first Annie Baker play, Infinite Life. So, as an AB stan, I have decided to make my first video essay, Annie Baker, the greatest playwright of all time. But look, if I want to prove to you that Annie Baker is an absolute genius, I'm going to need to go to the beginning. I've always wanted to start a video essay like that. Annie Baker was born in April of 1981 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I don't know the exact date, so we will now celebrate the entire month of April as Annie Baker Awareness Month. Show your family and friends the Vermont plays. Her parents were academics, her dad working as a college administrator, and her mom working as she was a psych doctoral student. She's also not the only author in the family. Her brother, Benjamin Nugent Baker, is an author of a book, American Nerd, The Story of My People, which talks about the cultural relevance of the word nerd. I hate you, Justin. All around, a very cool, a very smart, academic family. The Bakers. AB was no different. BFA in dramatic writing at Tisch. MFA in playwriting from Brooklyn College. Damn it, Janet, you're from a different planet. That joke you don't get right now, but you will by the end of the video, okay? So just stay tuned, After her schooling, she worked for the greatest job imaginable. I do think Annie Baker is brilliant and she's perfect, but she for sure peaked in 2005, 2006. Annie Baker served as a guest wrangler and an overseer of contestants on The freaking Bachelor. What? Now, she did only last 9 days, and she found the process to be incredibly unethical, which is fair. There's but one thing that she and I disagree on. And that's how wonderful The Bachelor is. Guys, Charity Lawson season this year was just, oh my God, Brandon is going to be a star of Paradise. This video is not about The Bachelor. This video is not about The Bachelor. This video is not about The Bachelor. Anyway, Annie Baker continued her odd jobs in television. She was a researcher on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. She did a bunch of wonderful, really cool stuff in TV leading up to her time as a playwright. Actually, for her thesis project in her MFA, wrote a never produced, unfortunately, pilot. I'm pretty sure it went to HBO and then it never happened, but she comes back to screenwriting. Again, give me a minute. Look, the best way to talk about Annie Baker, her style of playwriting, and how important she is to our world as theater artists is to go through her plays chronologically. And I have all of them. Come here, plays. Come here. I'm not kidding. I have every play. I have every single play that she's written. I have every single play that she's... So for the meat of this video, we're going to talk about the 9 plays Annie Baker has written and produced in New York City. These plays are incredibly important, but there's a lot of them. So we're going to have some structure to this, okay? I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to say if there's monologues or scenes sometimes in the script and if you should do them or not. I'm also going to talk about where they were produced. I'm going to give you a little summary on them. I'm going to talk about who directed them. I'm going to talk about why these plays impacted the way Annie Baker grew as a playwright to who she is now and how it created Infinite Life by Annie Baker, currently running at the Atlantic Theater Company. But there are so many plays, so let's just get started. I took a little break and it's nighttime now, so if it looks weird, shut up. Body Awareness by Annie Baker. Body Awareness was developed at the Bay Area Playwrights Festival in San Francisco. It was developed in support with the Playwrights Foundation and Atlantic Theater 2. This play that was written in 2007 marks the beginning of the Vermont plays. It also marks the beginning of all of her plays. It's the first play that she wrote. Shut up. The Vermont plays is a set of 4 plays. It's her first 4 plays, all set in the fictional town of Shirley, Vermont. In the New York Times article with Celia McGee in 2008, Annie Baker talks about how Shirley, Vermont was primarily based on Amherst, Massachusetts, which is where she grew up. There's a lot of things within Shirley that represent stuff that she grew up with, like the set for Body Awareness. Body Awareness takes place at Shirley State College, which is based off of Keene College, which is where Annie Baker's mom works. Oh, it all comes together. The play follows Phyllis, a faculty member and organizer at Shirley State College, who puts together a Body Awareness Week at the school. This is the Vermont plays. It's really bright. You can't see. It's like a white. We're going to change the lighting setup. Maybe this will make it easier. Nope. Still bright. Editing, Justin, just put a photo up. I'm really sorry. But the play follows Phyllis, her partner Joyce, and Joyce's adult son Jared, who's on the autism spectrum, and their week during this Body Awareness Week, where they are housing a guest artist named Frank, who's known for taking nude photos of women. The catalyst for a lot of the drama in this play is Frank asking Joyce to pose for him in one of his art projects. Naked, obviously. It forces this group, this struggling family, to deal with communication, to deal with issues with relationships, and to deal with the issues surrounding their human body, having a lot of similarities with the topics they're hitting in a Body Awareness Week at a college, obviously. This being the first play AB wrote, we see the start of her creating a style of play that I'm going to talk about a lot today, and it's called the shoot the shit style play. Her plays, I personally think, drop you into a slice of real life better than any playwright in existence. And that's what I love about it. Anyway, we need to keep going. Okay. There are great monologues in here for Jared specifically. So if you're a young man who's on the autism spectrum, there are some wonderful monologues in here for you. There's also great monologues for everybody, but there's a wonderful scene between Frank and Joyce when Joyce is trying to decide if she wants to pose for Frank. And it's great. I need to see it. I need to see this play. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to rank this play 10 blintzes out of 10. Moving on. Circle Mirror Transformation by Annie Baker. I gotta speed up, everybody. Circle Mirror Transformation is Annie Baker's second play in the Vermont collection, and it's also her first time winning an Obie Award. Yeah, what up? This play premiered at Playwright Horizons in 2009, and it marked the creation, the start, the beginning of the theatrical collaboration that I idealize every day. Annie Baker and Sam Gold, the director. The play follows a group of misfits in a drama class at a community center in, you guessed it, Shirley, Vermont. I love this play and the characters and the rich backstory to all of them. And I think this play marks her beginning to use silence, which is what Annie Baker, I personally think, is known for. It's the slice of life and the silence. That's what she does best. A lot of plays have the word beat in it, and it's telling you to take a beat in between lines, right? You can play with those however you want. You can treat beats however you mean for them to be treated, I guess. But when Annie Baker writes a beat, you better freaking beat. The way she writes silence into her play is so important because she is forcing the audience, forcing you, the watcher, the viewer, the reader, to really be a part of the conversation happening. You're watching every awkward pause, and she's forcing you to do that so you can relate to the people on the stage. It's brilliant. The play is also great if you're an actor. Circle Mirror Transformation is all about these cringy actor exercises they do in this class at a community center. At one point, they all become baseball gloves and beds and stuff like that. It's truly hilarious and amazing. So if you're into cringy actor stuff, this is a really good play for you. There's not a ton of monologues. There's a big monologue for every single character, but they're doing a story in place of another character, and I don't really think that would translate for an audition. But there are great group scenes. So if you're looking for a really good group scene with a really diverse group of characters, this is a wonderful play to check out, Circle Mirror Transformation. Circle Mirror Transformation, I'm going to give 10 High School Musical drama teachers out of 10. Miss Darbus. 10 Miss Darbuses out of 10. Yeah. The Aliens by Annie Baker. The play that slowed it all down. Oh, the first two plays, she was sculpting her shoot the shit style and her use of silence. And this play, oh gosh, this play uses them both a lot. The Aliens premiered off-Broadway at Rattlesnake Playwrights Theater in April of 2010, and it was also directed by, yes, Sam Gold. Fun fact of the day, it was developed in April of 2009 at the reading series at Ars Nova Out Loud. And this play won another freaking Obie. She's 2 for 3. My God, she's the off-Broadway queen is what she is. The play follows two men in their 30s, KJ and Jasper, as they smoke, hang out, talk about music, and discuss poetry in an alley behind a coffee shop. And when they meet Evan, the 18-year-old who works in the coffee shop, they decide to relay all of the information they have learned over their years of life to this kid. This play truly embodies two stoner dropouts that think they know everything and nothing all at the same time. In an interview with the Boston Globe, Annie Baker said that this play should be at least 1/3 silence. It should be uncomfortably silent. That's the point. This is the third play in the Vermont plays, and of course this coffee shop and alleyway is set in Shirley, Vermont. This is where she really figures out how to use silence to force the audience into the situation that their characters are in. When you read this play or watch this play, you feel like you are trapped in the corner having a conversation with the guy at the party no one wants to have a conversation with. If you ever see an Annie Baker play and it is fast, they're wrong. There are fast moments in Annie Baker plays, but this is really, especially The Aliens, this is the play where silence was used at its best. It's the point of everything. Also, there are so many monologues and so many scenes in this play. If you are a young man in your 30s or your 20s, there's monologues for Evan, monologues for KJ, monologues for Jasper. I give this play 10 sad dudes out of 10. Nocturama by Annie Baker. Nocturama was developed by the Cape Cod Theater Project in 2008 and had a world premiere reading at Manhattan Theater Company in 2010, directed by, Sam Gold. And this play marked the final play in the Vermont collection. I can finally start showing you the plays because I think they will show up on the camera. The play follows 26-year-old Skaggs after losing his mind over a breakup, and he comes home to, yes, Shirley, Vermont. He comes home to his divorced mother, Judy, and her boyfriend, Gary, who is an overweight man addicted to video games, one of which is called Nocturama. Yeah, that's the name of the play. During the play, Skaggs visits a local museum in his hometown, and he meets the desk clerk, Amanda. He invites Amanda to his home to have dinner with his family, and that's when kind of all the cracks in their foundation are shown. Skaggs' depression is revealed and talked about, and the tension between Gary and Judy is also amplified. I would compare this play most to Body Awareness, a play about a family struggle, and then a guest enters the chat and pushes everything up. I love this play. The character of Skaggs is really well written, and it's always brought me in. I'm being like a 27-year-old dude. Like, I totally get where he's coming from. And I think anyone who's gone through a traumatic breakup or has ever had love in their life and then lost it will really identify with the pain in Skaggs' character. It hurts, but in like a beautiful way, you know? That being said, I have done multiple Skaggs monologues for auditions and stuff. Kind of blowing up my spot here, but if you want to do some Skaggs monologues, you can. So if you are kind of like me, you can go ahead and do a Skaggs monologue. Congratulations. But this play would mark the final play in the Vermont collection. Oh, what a beautiful collection it is. I give this play also 10 sad crying dudes out of 10. Uncle Vanya by Anton Chekhov, adapted by Annie Baker. Annie Baker adapted the brilliant Anton Chekhov play Uncle Vanya. It premiered in 2012 at Soho Theater. I forgot to show it. It's here. Look, it's a play. I have it in my hand. Whoa. Annie Baker does an amazing job taking the text and making it contemporary while staying really, really tight and strict to the source material. If you're in a Chekhov unit in college, or if you've always been like a little put off by Chekhov, I would always recommend Annie Baker's Uncle Vanya. There's a ton of really, really wonderful playwright adaptations of Chekhov's work. Her work, I think, is just really, really easily adaptable to the normal person. It's also her only adaptation. So if you're an adaptation nerd, boom. I give this play 10 Chekhov heads out of 10. All right, this is the freaking big one. The Flick by Annie Baker. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Another Obie Award and a Pulitzer. A Pulitzer! The Flick premiered at Playwright Horizons in 2013 and was directed by, again, the wonderful Sam Gold. If you can't see a pattern here, Sam and Annie work together a lot, and they are a wonderful duo. I think directing her work can be really, really tough because of the silences, and Sam honors those so, so truly. I wish I could see a production of theirs, but I've seen clips, and it's just, oh, it's wonderful. The play takes place at a close-to-death movie theater in Worcester, Massachusetts, and follows 3 movie ushers, Sam, Avery, and Rose. The play watches them having conversations and doing the mundane tasks that movie ushers do in between showings, like picking up popcorn or cleaning up spilled soda. This 3-hour play is not for everybody. It is long, it is slow, it feels mundane, but this was the pinnacle of her putting you into the seats of that movie theater. It is slow, it is silent, but the hyper-realism of this play is just amazing. We've all had to do mundane shit in our lives, for sure. I'm about to go edit this video for like 9 hours, and I'm gonna sit at a desk and just clip video pieces together over and over and over again. I'm gonna wanna die.
I really do want to die.
And Annie Baker forces us to sit in that movie theater and feel the way they feel. Like they wanna freaking die. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It makes you hang on every syllable because you don't know when you'll get another one. It's just amazing. This is coup de grace Annie Baker. There's a ton of monologues and scenes, and I did a scene with my friend Erica from this play before, but this play won a Pulitzer and is incredibly well known, so I wouldn't take anything into an audition. If you want to work something for scene work, totally do it in class, but maybe not for an audition. I would look at one of her lesser knowns like the Vermont plays or what we're going to talk about next. But I give The Flick 1,000 movie theater popcorns out of 10. John by Annie Baker. John opened in 2015 at New York City's Signature Theater and was directed by Quentin Tarantino. I'm just kidding. It was Sam Gold again. It was obviously Sam Gold again. How dare you question it? The play follows Elias and Jenny, a young couple spending the week after Thanksgiving at a bed and breakfast in Gettysburg, PA, with an innkeeper of this like eclectic mess of a home. It's like a beautiful mess. We watch Elias and Jenny interact with this innkeeper who is suspiciously sweet. There's something wrong going on. It's almost a little haunting. Ooh. But we watch this and we watch how it affects their struggling relationship. If I could play one Annie Baker role, it would be Elias. This would be the one. I want to be in John. It's so good. I would put this play in like the body awareness category though. Like if there were 2 categories of Annie Baker plays, which we're about to break with the next one, there's like your classic shoot the shit, slow moving, silent playing with plays, which these do too. But then there's also like the 4-person fish out of water plays, which these ones are. But I'm putting them here. There's text here, probably, I hope. This one focuses on something a little different though, and that's the set. Oh my God, this bed and breakfast is insane. The bed and breakfast they put you in is full of like 1,000 knickknacks and tchotchkes and stuff like that really makes it feel like a hoarder's bed and breakfast, but in like a collectory way. There's especially all of these like porcelain dolls sitting on the stairway that's facing the audience, right? And if you're wondering how creepy the dolls can be, this is the cover of the play. So creepy. So creepy, Annie. Why? Why so creepy, Annie Baker? But Annie Baker said in an interview once that she set it up this way to have hundreds of eyes of dolls staring at the audience the entire time. It's so creepy, but it makes it feel like you're being watched as well as the characters feeling like they are being watched. Again, she is using her writing to put us in these situations of the characters. It is something that she does better than anyone else on the planet. I will say there's like a little jump scare in this play. It's kind of her biggest jump into like the horror genre, and I kind of love it. The last thing I want to say about this is there are like monologues and scenes and stuff, but again, it's pretty well known. So I always recommend going to the Vermont plays for pulling stuff from AB. That or like the Antipodes, which, oh shoot, that's the next one. Shut up, doesn't matter. I heard there's a secret pro shot of the Signature Theater production, and if you know anything about that, you are obligated to send it to me. You're obligated to. My Instagram's right here. DM me immediately, or I'll kill you dead. You'll be dead. John gets 10 creepy doll heads out of 10. The Antipodes by Annie Baker. We are at the final 2. The Antipodes opened at Signature Theater in 2017 and was directed by not Sam Gold, which kind of makes sense because this is probably the most against Annie Baker style play that she's ever written. The play is about people telling stories about telling stories. That's literally the entire summary on the back of the play. It follows a bunch of television writers who are on the journey to finally write something new. Annie Baker uses a bunch of absurdism in this play. She uses it to accentuate the different energies and people that she met while her short stint of writing for television. There is an amazing monologue at the end of the play that Sarah has. I'm gonna read a line of it. Find the line, gotta find the line. I gotta find the line. I think maybe there are no more stories. Not that we've told all of the stories or that there are only 6 types of stories or something, but I think maybe it's the end of an era, or maybe it should be the end of an era. Maybe this is actually the worst possible time in the history of the world to be telling stories. That hit so hard. And this play is divisive. Some people really, really love it, and some people who like Annie Baker's more classic stuff aren't the biggest fans. I personally, having been in television writing and been in comedy writing for a long, long time, and now being a playwright, I identify with a bunch of moments in this play, and I love it so much. There's also a ton of monologues for anyone between the ages of 20 to 50. And there's some really good monologues that no one touches because this play was probably the least known play of Annie Baker's. I am a very proud Antipodes stan, and I give Antipodes 10 whiteboards out of 10. Infinite Life by Annie Baker. Oh my gosh. It's been 6 years. For all of COVID, nothing. She had a commission with Signature Theater, and it said there was something coming out in 2021, and it never happened. I think it might have been this play. I thought I had a different name back then, but for a while I would check the website every day or two, and after a year of doing that, it just went away. I was waiting for the dates to come out, and it just went away. And then finally it came out that Annie Baker was dropping Infinite Life at Atlantic Theater Company as a co-production with National Theater, and I got tickets the day they came out, literally the day. My roommate, best friend, creative collaborator, Erica Kuhn, has had one day off because she's currently in process for a play at our school. And on that one day off, we drove 14 hours to spend 4 hours in New York. We got lunch with some friends, and then we saw Infinite Life.
Annie Baker.
And oh my God. I've been such a huge Annie Baker fan, but I've never been able to see one of her plays. I've known of her for about 3 years now, and she is the reason I write. So happy this was my first, and I'm so happy I got to see the original production of it. The play follows Sophie and a group of older women at a fasting retreat in a medical facility. They philosophize? They talk to each other. In that classic slow and silent style, they talk to each other about love, about friendship, and most importantly, the complexity of suffering and what it means to desire in a body that is failing you. Now, I'm not going to spoil this play because it is running until October 8th, and I'm not kidding. If you are within 10 hours of New York, you should go see it. It is freaking brilliant. But my friend Erica had a great statement on it after we saw it, and she was like, it's the menopausal version of the Aliens for the girlies if it was 30 to 45 minutes shorter. And I think that is an amazing representation of this play. It looks at the struggles of women and their bodies, and it's so smart. There are moments in the play, I don't want to spoil anything, but there are moments in the play where these older women walk off the stage at the end of a scene, but they walk in character of these older women who are fasting and their bodies are breaking down, but they keep saying that their bodies are great, and it's so slow and it's beautiful, and it makes you really sit in it. It's also kind of hot sometimes. So that's pretty cool. What the departure was for the Antipodes, we see a return of Annie Baker's true style with this play. And I'm so ecstatic to have been a part of this 6-year journey, to have just been able to see it. I'm freaking pumped. I love this play. It's one of my favorites Annie Baker's ever written, and I'm so excited to say that I've been to the original production. And you should too if you can get there by October 8th, 6th. I don't know. This isn't sponsored by them. This is me truly just telling you to go see the freaking play. Go see it.
Editing Justin here. I forgot to give this a score, so I'm gonna give Infinite Life 10 green shakes out of 10. It was a great play.
Okay, let's do a conclusion to this thing.
Also, before we get to the conclusion, I totally forgot to reference the thing I made a joke about earlier in the video. Annie Baker's making a movie called Janet Planet with A24. She wrote it and she's directing it. It's already come out for some reviews, and they're calling it an exquisite debut. So hopefully it's the start of a huge film and television career for Annie Baker. But I forgot to make it in the original video. Shut up! Shut up!
So, a conclusion. I don't know how long this video is, but it's taking a long time to record, and it's like 8 pages of notes. So, I hope editing Justin doesn't hate me too much.
I do. I really do. I really.
Annie Baker, I love you. No, but really, Annie Baker uses silence in her playwriting to really put a slice of life on the stage better than any playwright has done ever. And she does it on a consistent freaking basis. I know it'll be easy to watch this video and be like, Justin, you could have got this across on a TikTok in 30 seconds by just saying, I love you, Annie Baker, goodbye, and that could have been enough. But it's more than that. The reason I'm making this my first video is a couple years ago when I won my first grant to be a playwright, I only knew comedy writing, and I didn't know what I was doing. And while I had a bunch of support around me, it was reading and finding Annie Baker's plays that made me realize I wanted to be a playwright for the rest of my life. I love reading plays that have crazy structure and send you to fantasy worlds, and it's so cool. But Annie Baker does what I love about writing. It makes you feel real. Annie Baker puts people on the stage that you and I know. She puts us on the stage, like we are on the stage in an Annie Baker play. And she forces you to be a part of the conversation and to be a part of the situation happening. It makes you feel something. It's just amazing. Writing a play with one set in 100 minutes that just shows a true moment in time, I think is gorgeous when you can do it right, and Annie Baker has never done it wrong. Using the mundane and the silence and the relatability to create hyper-realism in theater is so dope. And I never expected to be such a nerd about her, but after I read my first Annie Baker play, which was The Flick, I just never stopped, and now I read everything and I look up to her as the biggest role model I could have in playwriting. It's just the best. And I will proudly say that Annie Baker is the greatest playwright of all time. Thank you so much for watching my first video. I really hope this isn't too long, but I put a lot of work into it, and I hope you like it. I don't know when the next video is coming out, but you can follow me on TikTok at Mediocre Jokes for more theater content. You can check out my podcast, Play to Z, for more theater content on there with my friend Erica. Put in the comment section what your favorite Annie Baker play is, or if you read anything afterwards, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.